Some say strength runs in the blood. Others say we rise by rejecting our father's path. This is the story of 2 generations of strength. A father who won through patience, a son who conquered through force. 2 men who would reshape what it means to be a great general. Not through talent alone, but through the weight of their choices. Long before he became the famous seeger of cities, Mou Gou was just another commander-in-chief. A general who fought by the book, methodical and steady. But in warfare, sometimes steady isn't enough. He faced a wall that no amount of conventional tactics could break. A young prodigy named Ren Pa. Battle after battle, defeat after defeat, Mou Gou watched his military career crumble. But someone else was watching too. His son, Mou Gou, absorbed every loss, every retreat. Where others saw defeat, the boy saw something different. He saw everything he would refuse to become. Unable to advance in Qi, Mou Gou made a choice that would shape both their destinies. He took his family on a journey across China, wandering from state to state. Each rejection hardened father and son differently. The father learned adaptability. The son learned to overwhelm. In Qin, they finally found their chance. But by then, father and son had already chosen very different paths to power. In Qin's royal court, Mou Gou made his ambitions clear. Standing before the king himself, he declared his intention to surpass even the 6 great generals, not through patience or tactics, but through overwhelming force. Watch how he commands, each charge more devastating than the last. His men become extensions of his will, transforming into an unstoppable tide of destruction. This wasn't just warfare. This was Mou Gou's rebellion against everything his father represented. Meanwhile, Mou Gou found his own path to greatness. City after city, he would encircle, wait, and conquer. Where others saw tedium, he saw certainty. His greatest strength? Knowing his own limitations. Instead of trying to match the 6 great generals' talent, he gathered those who could. Kanki, the unorthodox bandit. Wu Sen, the perfect strategist. Under the patient seeger, these wild cards found their place in Qin's army. At Baiyu, Mou Gou's strength-first philosophy faced its greatest test. His charge into enemy lines wasn't just reckless, it was a rejection of everything his father had tried to teach him about patience. The trap that caught him wasn't just tactical, it was karma. Years of dismissing careful planning, of relying purely on might, led to this moment. His forces surrounded, his confidence shattered. And there, in that moment of defeat, Mou Gou learned what his father had known all along. True strength needs wisdom to guide it. Watching Uki command that day changed something in him forever. For Mou Gou, fate had its own lesson in store. Decades after their first encounters, he faced Ren Pa again. But this time was different. This time, he fought not to prove himself, but to protect something greater. Even as he lost his arm in that fierce duel, Mou Gou showed that a patient man's resolve could match any prodigy's talent. Every Kingdom fan knows that feeling, when you desperately want others to discover this epic story. Like Mou Gou calling soldiers to his banner, your subscription helps us reach more viewers who deserve to experience these legendary tales. Now, as our ranks grow, let's witness how father and son face their greatest challenge. When the coalition army threatened Qin, both men stood as its shields. But now, each fought with something they'd learned from the other. Mou Gou, still fierce, but now tempered by wisdom, led his men with both strength and strategy. The man who once relied only on force, now commanded with his father's patience. And Mou Gou, defending Kankoku Pass, showed that sometimes patience must be balanced with decisive action. Father and son, their methods different, but their purpose united. Against the giant of Chu, Kan Mei, Mou Gou unleashed everything he'd become. When his son Mo Ten fell in battle, his rage wasn't just that of a warrior. It was the protective fury of a father who'd learned what truly matters. In his final moments, Mou Gou revealed something profound. He spoke of never becoming a hero like the 6 great generals, of always standing in their shadow. But in his honesty, in his ability to acknowledge his limits, we see his true greatness. His legacy lives on, not just in military victories, but in the lessons he taught. That greatness comes in many forms, that knowing your limits is as important as pushing them. And Mou Gou, the son who once rejected everything his father stood for, he raised a silent toast to their journey. Because in the end, both men had found their own paths to greatness, each learning from the other's way. Want to see more legends who changed kingdom forever? Subscribe and watch the next video on how a young prodigy named Q blazed a trail that would echo through kingdom's entire history.